NFL on CBS in the UK, and we're about to begin the third quarter with the Patriots leading it at 21-7. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms back here at Wembley Stadium. There's Tom Brady, who threw 2 touchdowns in that first half, was also picked twice. It was 21-0, and the Bucs scored late in that first half. Your thoughts?
Well, I think my thoughts are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hung in there, and I think going into the locker room, there's a little confidence on their side.
Okay.
I could feel it just watching them play there the last couple series of the first half, that they believe, hey, we keep fighting, we got a chance to still win this game.
You made the point this game could have been a lot closer, but you could also say, wait a minute now, the Bucs made a pick in the red zone, a rarity for New England to commit a turnover that deep into the field, and it could have been, in fact, it could have really been early, even uglier than 21-0 at one time.
No question, you're a Patriots fan, you're sitting there going, man, we really should have this game put away. But, you know, both teams playing hard, and I think as you look at this game, you're trying to find ways to say, how can Tampa hang in there and get back into it?
Well, the first half summary here. This game began with an interception return by Brandon Merriweather on the 5th play of the game for a score. Then it was Welker taking the screen pass, 14 yards for a touchdown. There's the Merriweather play early. And then a great throw and catch and run by, well, Brady to Sam Aiken was the other score. And a reminder, this game brought to you in high definition here on CBS. Well, Tampa won the coin toss and took the football first. Now they'll kick it away back to New England. The New England team that established a Patriot team record last week was 619 total yards of offense. Not that same kind of pace here today. 197 they had in the first half in this one at Wembley. And Brandon Tate out to the 27. Sammy Straughter on the tackle. And here comes Brady. Without the services today of one of his wide receivers who broke his forearm late last week in the game against Tennessee, Julian Edelman, who did not make the trip over here, the rookie who has been such a fine addition, and quite a find on top of that out of the 7th round from Kent State. He's not IR, just inactive this week, did not make the trip over to London. So they brought up Brandon Tate, who's been seeing some action as a returner and also a little bit on the offensive end. Joey Galloway also waived this week by the Patriots. There's a throw for 5 yards to Chris Baker.
Wouldn't surprise me to see the Patriots come out here in the second half and be more aggressive in their approach on the offensive side. In other words, maybe trying to look down the field a little bit and just take it more aggressively to this Buccaneers defense. And on the other side, the Buccaneers gave up a lot of big passing plays early in the year, but they're being a little more conservative on defense, and it's helped them out.
Near a first down. That's Lawrence Maroney. Inactive today, Sammy Morris. Injured a knee last week early in the game against Tennessee. Fred Taylor for the 3rd straight game out with an ankle. So they have 3 backs, Maroney, Falk, and Green Ellis. Bring back Dan Connolly, a backup lineman. And when he comes into the game, he often lines up as he is here as the fullback.
Sooner or later, I would just think they get in this formation, him at fullback, extra tight end, that if they single up Randy Moss, they'll go deep.
Yes, Maroney picking up the yardage. Got a couple, just needed 1.
Talk about it, just you got to play so many roles, Jim. Dan Connolly, 63, leading the way. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Did what he had to do. Out of the first.
You know, the Patriots, we talked about Sebastian Vollmer, but they're deep on the offensive line. They're all talented. And what separates this line from a lot of them in the NFL, they're athletic. They can pull. They can move. They block for the screens. Of course, they block for Tom Brady, too.
Brady throwing on first down. Right to midfield and a little beyond to Welker.
One of their big keys today was to throw those type of passes inside. And you go, well, everybody'd like to do that. But double cover the wide receivers Then you play action fake. Linebackers get up near the line of scrimmage, and that's why you saw all that space around Wes Welker.
13-yard throw to Welker. And he's got another 6-reception game and going to go well beyond that. A man who's had 112 and 111 catches the last 2 seasons. Brady steps up, throws a little high that time, and there is a flag back in the pocket. And that was again in the area of Welker.
Holding, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It's called on Sebastian Vollmer, who was limping around in the last minute of the first half and gave up a sack. He's been playing so well here in relief the last few weeks of Matt Light.
Yeah, a little pressure comes from Tom Brady's left side and makes him step up. Tom Brady a little off target that time, but Tim Crowder able to get around Vollmer.
First and 20 now. And Brady, well, they're going to call that an incompletion. Michael Bennett coming in on Brady and knocking the ball loose.
Yeah, we bragged about this offensive line, but they are getting their hits in. Nick Kazzer not getting out there fast enough. What happens is, or what did happen, he was expecting Tom Brady to get rid of the football real quick. So when you're a tackle and you expect that, you just protect the inside, you give up the outside, but the coverage is there. Tom Brady holds on to it and takes the big hit.
So the 2nd and 20. And standing open on the sideline was Baker. Makes the grab and is immediately popped by Piscatelli.
What a throw by Tom Brady. This is where a big arm. Look at this. Short defender, deep defender. And when they come up to try to protect the short pass, Tom Brady really rifles it to the outside to Sam Aiken.
Gain 16, so it's a 3rd and 4. Welker flanking the quarterback on his right side. And that's ball. Well, they had 2nd and 20 and they managed to pick up a first. 2nd and 20 to 3rd and 4 and over to Falk for a first.
You know, Jim, it goes back to the play before. It's 2nd and 20 and they're trying to take away the 6-yard route instead of the one down the sideline. But how about this? Geno Hayes, he reads it. Oh, he has a big chance to knock the pass down, if nothing else, to really lay a big hit on Kevin Falk.
A milestone catch for Falk. Career grab number 400.
What a player. Kevin Falk.
A 3,000 club member. Receiving and rushing yardage in his career as Brady goes on the run to Welker. He's trying to wriggle free but unable to get away from Tenard Jackson. Still a good size gain, maybe 7 or 8.
And, you know, you go back to Kevin Falk as we watch Tom Brady blitz. Good job just stepping up in the pocket again and finding the outlet receiver. And Wes Welker, so many little routes. How about that sit to the inside? He knows he's Tom Brady's 3rd option. Then he takes out to the outside.
2nd and 2. And that's Maroney. Backing his way into another first down.
But what I was going to say, Jim, about Kevin Falk, it's kind of like Troy Brown, isn't it? You know, just every year, the role Troy Brown asked to be a defensive back. He does that. Wide receiver. Kevin Falk, wide receiver, blocker. He does it all.
This is the drive for the Patriots. And speaking of Troy Brown, who's been 15 years as a player in this organization, he's over here in London for the game. He's a guest of Mr. Crafts and attended his big soiree last night and was saluted by the owner. First down from the 25, Brady. To Welker, again, grabbed by the ankles. We got another flag down. Adam Hayward was the one who tripped him up.
Holding, offense, number 76.
That's the
10-yard
second
penalty.
holding call
Replay,
on this
first
drive
down.
against Vollmer.
Top of your left of your screen, and it was a hold because he did reach up and grab the defender around the neck and tried to pull him down. Couldn't quite do it. I don't think the Bucs heard us last week how good Vollmer's doing. Because they're putting pressure on him and doing a good job.
Well, I think most of this has been happening since he got hurt in the last minute of the first half. Giving up a sack and 2 holds and lights out. Here's Brady. Watson. Touchdown. New England. yards, Brady to Watson.
Anytime the Patriots cross the 40-yard line, you just got to be alert for them to take a shot. Geno Hayes on Ben Watson. Ben Watson, straight ahead, might be one of the fastest tight ends in the NFL. The first thing you got to do is protect the big plays. Try to stop it. Geno Hayes lets him run down the field untouched. Easy throw for Tom Brady.
Well, it had been a while since the Patriots offense had cracked the code. Gostowski makes it 28-7. They're about to call on Sherlock Holmes here in London, but they solved it here. Elementary, my dear Watson. Touchdown, New England. But they didn't call on Watson last week. He did not have a catch in the blowout of Tennessee. He has one here in London, though, and it goes for a touchdown.
Got to be ready when it's your turn here. Remember, it's Randy Moss, Wes Welker, and then you fight for that third position. Good matchup for Ben Watson at time. He took advantage of it.
Patriots drive it down the field. Escape, if you will, 2 holding calls and still score a touchdown. Break in the action. We'll see the Bucs offense on the field for the first time in the second half next. Tower Bridge, Tower of London. London town. It's been a beautiful week here as the NFL's back for the 3rd straight year at Wembley Stadium. And for the Patriots, facing a winless team for the 2nd straight week. That's after the oddity of facing teams that had not suffered a loss through the first 5 games of the season.
Not always the greatest thing. Everybody goes, oh, look at it. Hey, look, winless teams are desperate.
Yep.
And one of the things that Tampa Bay was using in their favor was the fact that Tennessee lost 49-0. That scares you.
It was even worse than that. 59-0.
What did I say?
Banta Kane. Well, he gave Tennessee a little 10-point credit. That's all right. Banta Kane, though, stepping up.
Well, he's had a good day today so far. Oh, he just works inside, and the blocking scheme, it confuses the blocking by the Tampa Bay defensive line. Comes untouched, makes the tackle.
All right, Josh Johnson picked off 3 times in that first half. Lobbing it sideline and a juggling catch, but out of bounds.
Well, Jim, let's look at the touchdown to Ben Watson. Here's Geno Hayes. Coverage one-on-one, and Ben Watson. Tom Brady knows right now, he knows before the snap of the football that he's going to go down the seam because there's nobody helping out the linebacker against what we said, one of the fastest tight ends in the NFL.
Third and 15. Middle and down well short of a first. Banta Kane in on another play.
Screen plays. Who's responsible stopping screen plays? Well, a lot of teams, and you got to teach your defensive linemen to chase it down from behind. Tully Banta Kane making another good play.
Dirk Johnson punted 5 times in that first half. This third quarter's been a real problem. The biggest problem of all quarters for the Bucs this year. They've been worse in the league in point differential. They've already given up 7. And there are 3 and out here, putting New England's offense back onto the field after a 45-yard punt. 28-7. We're back at Wembley Stadium, and it's 28-7 Patriots. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and a special guest here in the booth, and that would be Commissioner Roger Goodell. Roger, it's been quite a time over here.
Phil, great to be with you.
Good to see you.
You had a good time for the third year in a row?
Fabulous. Yeah, it's been fabulous. Every year it gets better. The enthusiasm grows every year.
Well, would you stay with us a little bit? We'll watch a little football together here. Commissioner, I know you've had a lot of things to do this week, and again, spreading the goodwill and getting this word out about the NFL as the whole globalization process with the NFL continues with huge success here in the UK. We're going to have New England now, first down from the 32. And Brady has an open man. It's Moss, bumped out after a gain of about 9. You had an economic global sports summit meeting this week as well, and tell me what you think. We've been talking about, we were here last year, perspective-wise, definitely an increase in the popularity in 1 year.
No question. You know, the first game we had what I thought was maybe some novelty, and the fans were tremendously interested. The second year, we grew off of that, and this year it's even more extraordinary. We're actually thrilled by the reaction we've gotten.
Here's a 2nd and 1 for the Patriots from the 41. From the gun, Brady, all kinds of time, and knocked down, and incomplete. 3rd and 1 on the way.
You know, Commissioner, I thought was interesting at the summit, a lot of leagues and teams around the world are interested in how the NFL works because they admire what the NFL is doing.
You know, Phil, it was a chance for us to bring everyone together, all these sports organizations, and it really was. It was flattering to us that a lot of the other organizations were looking at how do you do things, how do you structure your media deals, how do you structure your labor agreement, the whole issue of free agency, and it really was intriguing for us because we learned a lot from them also.
3rd and a yard and flags.
False start, offense, number 70.
We'll set up 3rd and 6. Mike Holmgren was one of those panelists this week representing the NFL, and I think really Phil brings it up. A lot of these leagues are wondering what your interest is over here in the UK and maybe even, you know, other places in Europe. Well,
I think the way they put it to me, what are your intentions?
What are your intentions? Right, exactly.
You know, I think there's such great sports fans over here. There's room for more than a couple of sports, and I think the NFL is going to have a place over here.
And a timeout called by the Patriots. We'll come back in just a moment with more from Commissioner Goodell. And the Patriots facing 3rd and 6 here at Wembley. Well, look at Big Ben. 7:05 here, London time. Speaking of Big Ben, you got to get Pittsburgh over here. You got to bring Roethlisberger. Got to bring Big Ben to Big Ben one of these years. How about
Actually, my kids said that as we were driving into town. They saw Big Ben there. They said that's where Ben should be.
Plus, with Ambassador Rooney over in Ireland, that makes a lot of sense. Hold on a minute here. 3rd and 6 for the Patriots from the 36. First 2 options shut down. Now we'll run for it. And he dives close to the first. Looks like they may spot him about a yard shy. You said a moment ago in response to Phil's question, though, that you think that there's plenty of room for a lot of folks over here in London, which means that maybe down the road there is going to be an NFL full-time presence in London. Could you see that?
Well, Jim, you know, one of the things we'd like to do is maybe increase the series from 1 game to 2 games. Okay. And if it continues to have the same kind of following, the other thing is between games we have tremendous media coverage. The NFL is on here on a weekly basis, and as new technologies develop, we'll be able to bring more football to fans over here.
Hanson out to punt. Could you see maybe having multiple games as early as next year?
Yes, I do. It's possible we'd extend the series to 2 games for the 2010.
Big pressure on Hanson. He's felt that a couple of times already. And it's a short punt that bounds back favorably for the Buccaneers at about the 33-yard line.
Well, Commissioner, I got to say, the one thing that makes fans uneasy, the most asked question I get all the time, could there really be a stoppage of games about the collective bargaining agreement? I know it's a tough question just to answer, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we sure hope not. I mean, our job is to play football and bring the fans more football, so that's our intent. We just got to get down to the table and get something done that works. But this is really an opportunity for us to create an agreement that works for everybody. Works for the owners, works for the players, and most importantly, works for our fans.
Well, you bring something up. When any scheduled talks, when's that process start?
We've had a series of negotiations already, and we have some more scheduled. So we're continuing to have some good dialogue.
No flag on the throw to Bryant. Well, we're looking forward to Super Bowl 44. It's our year. It's the 50th year, of course, of the American Football League, and that's been celebrated and commemorated a number of times. But Miami will be your host again this year. I know you're looking forward to going back there.
Oh, it's a great place for the Super Bowl. You know, they're passionate fans down there, but it's a great place. And this year we have the Pro Bowl the week before, which will be fun for us.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. I actually like that idea, having the Pro Bowl the week before.
We think it's a great stage to put our players on. Our Pro Bowl players now, they deserve the focus, and being the week before the Super Bowl is a great thing. It's anticlimactic when you play the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl.
Well, thank you for your time. We mentioned already on the broadcast how the Crafts last night had a little celebration for you and Jane. Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. We're no place we'd rather be than here in London, celebrating our anniversary. So.
Well, we feel very privileged to be here as part of the whole package with the National Football League.
We're lucky to have you guys. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Ward held on that last one for no gain, so a 3rd and 10 for Josh Johnson, who steps back into the shotgun again. Low snap, but he fields it. Here comes everybody after Johnson. He gets it away in time to Straughter. Nifty move, has the first. And finally falls at the 48. And a late couple of flags thrown in.
After the first down was made, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 75. 15-yard penalty. Tampa keeps the ball. First down.
Called on Joseph, so one of the best plays of the day by the Bucs is rather nullified.
Blitz by the Patriots, just a little too slow getting there, and a very nice job by Josh Johnson, moving just enough to get that extra time to make the throw. And then frustration, not really. Davin Joseph just trying to be aggressive and keep working and keep playing hard. Gets caught with a personal foul.
Well, it's marginalized or compromised. It's still a first down. The play stands. And again, in quickly on Ward. Only a gain of 2. We got another update. James Brown, we hand it off to you.
Jim and Phil, hard-fought battle going on between Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Brett Favre hooking up here with Sidney Rice. A 34-yard pass play down to the 1. There was a Pittsburgh defensive penalty. Vikings had 3 plays inside the 1. Couldn't connect for the score. Settled for the field goal. 13-10. They've narrowed the gap. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Well, that Pittsburgh defense, thank you, JB, for that update. Able to keep him out of the end zone on that one. 2nd down, 7 for the Bucs. Ward wanting to bounce outside, and Guyton is waiting for him for a loss of 2. Interesting hearing the commissioner. Sounds as though there could very well be 2 games here next year. The league will increase its presence here, sounds.
I think that was one of the things. I can't remember if I read it or saw or heard it on TV, Jim, but there are a lot of cities that want, they want a game.
I think I mentioned Ambassador Rooney. Maybe Dublin could possibly be a site, or
wouldn't surprise me.
I know Manchester, England has also worked hard on the idea of bringing a game there.
They gave
Before
him
the play clock expired, timeout, Tampa Bay.
Bucs call a timeout with 3:51 to go in the 3rd. Patriots up 3 touchdowns. Back at Wembley, which had its moments during the 1948 Summer Olympic Games here. And the Olympics coming here in less than 3 years. 2012, London hosting again. 3rd and 9 for the Bucs. Johnson plants, throws, open man at the New England 32. It's Sammy Stroughter, the rookie from Oregon State.
If you watched last week's game, he made some plays last week that really helped out the Buccaneers. Look at the blitz by the Patriots, and they have plenty of guys spaced out to make sure Josh Johnson doesn't get down the field. Doesn't matter. Stroughter comes all the way across and gets open. What a throw by Josh Johnson.
Jonathan Wilhite on the coverage. Goes for 35.
Hard to get a pass rush when you're worried about the quarterback running.
Oh, it's back to the quarterback. Flea flicker, flags down, and incomplete. Antonio Bryant was the receiver. Carnell Williams, Cadillac, tossed it back to the quarterback.
Patriots ran a flea flicker last week. Randy Moss opened for the touchdown. I'll tell you what, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done a good job with their scheme of what they're trying to do on offense. There have been plenty of opportunities down the field to make the plays. And they're starting to call passing plays. Every one of them, they're looking for shots. Patriots committing that extra guy to stop Josh Johnson from running. That's why there's open holes down the field to throw the football. I have no idea what this could be. At first I thought, is it roughing the quarterback? Then I thought it was a hold. And
there are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense, number 70. That penalty is declined after the play was over. Delay of a game, offense, number 89 for spiking the ball is accepted. Loss of down, 2nd down.
Hold on Donald Penn.
Donald Penn, left tackle, number 70, left of your screen. Vince Wilfork beats him inside, so he's holding him all the way. And then spiking of the football, delay a game, and why they take that? Just like we were informed, it's 2nd down instead of 1st.
And explained to Raheem Morris. You can join the NFL's official fan community at NFL.com/fans. Comment on the latest news with thousands of other users, plus live chats, watch video, and more only at NFL.com/fans.
Young team, mistakes. I've seen too many penalties on special teams by the Buccaneers today. And I know it's a 5-yard penalty, still a big deal. When you're young, you just got to do all the little things right.
2nd and 15. Johnson going for the home run ball again. That was intended for Clayton, similar to the type of route they ran for the touchdown in the 2nd quarter.
You know, it's interesting looking at the Buccaneers. What did Raheem Morris tell us yesterday? He looked at me and he goes, you know, we pad up every day. In other words, they don't go out there and, you know, shorts and just walk through stuff. They are practicing, hitting each other. It's tough. And why are they doing that? Because they do have youth, and that's how you make them better. They need real practice time, game conditions. And when you're going to practice your team like that, you need a lot of young players.
They've hit on a couple of 3rd down conversions on this drive. Trying to do it again, and the pass way too high for Stroughter. Pressure applied by Pryor.
Yeah, there's pressure. They're really doing a good job now making Josh Johnson stay in the pocket. But there's nowhere to throw this. If he throws it right on target, it could have been trouble. So at the last second, I think he saw that, and he just let it go high.
Johnson. Trying to get him inside the 10. He does it this time. Caught by Welker at the 7. 30-yard boot. That's what they wanted. Update time. James Brown.
Hey, Jim, Indy getting it done on the defensive end as well. Take a look here. Mark Bulger back looking to go deep. Picked off by Jacob Lacey. He returns it 35 yards to pay dirt. Indy adding a touchdown from the defensive end. 28-6 in the 4th. Jim Nance, Phil Simms.
And he was safe. All right, thank you, James. So Indianapolis looks to be continuing on with its unbeaten ways. Brady on first down. Down the sideline he goes and over the head of Aiken. We got a new #1 in college football. Florida overtakes Alabama, which won a squeaker over Tennessee yesterday. Alabama falls to #2. Georgia, Florida, though, next Saturday on the Home Depot SEC with Vernon Gary and Tracy Wolfson. And then Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman in the studio. Next week, Home Depot SEC on CBS. What a finish that was. We got it over here. By the way, it was broadcast live here in the UK.
Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson. It was kind of fun to watch a college football game that was about defense.
Lawrence Maroney trying to shake off the first hit. Only takes it to the 9-yard line. James Brown having a good, busy day of it, and we're grateful. Back to you, James.
Hey, Jim, in San Diego having a good day of it as well. Take a look here as Phillip Rivers hooks up a little pass in the flat to Darren Sproles. Pat calls him a little sports car as he shifts gears there. Headed to pay dirt, 58 yards for the score. San Diego up by 20 over Kansas City in the 3rd. Late, Jim Nance, Phil Simms.
All right, thank you. I guess that's number 3. 3 touchdown passes by Rivers on the day. And a timeout. Tampa Bay calling its 2nd. Now Tom Brady has 3 touchdown passes. I talked about Rivers. Here's the Brady highlight reel. Over to Welker. Finding Sam Aiken. And then a wonderful throw to Benjamin Watson.
Well, my favorite one was the one to Sam Aiken, just because he had to move around the offensive line. Sam Aiken had to keep working. Broke a tackle.
3rd and 8. Brady gets his solid footing at last. And it's through the fingertips of Randy Moss. Boy, he almost got him a rare pass in the area of Moss that he doesn't grab hold of.
Yeah, I think you said it right. When the football's in the air, Randy Moss is one of the few guys. Well, that's just a nice double move that he usually keeps those hands down to the last second and outruns the football. Well, Tom Brady lets it go. I don't know what he thinks. He goes, why did I overthrow it by 10 yards? Or I thought Randy was going to get there.
Moss had 2 deep ball catches last week. Of course, 3 touchdown games as Hansen gets slightly bumped, no flag. And Tampa Bay is going to have nice field position as Strawder has it returned to the 40. 36-yard boot, 6-yard return. Randy may have hurt his arm a little bit. He was shaking it coming off the field. The big moment of all, if you talk to him here locally, the 66 World Cup final, July of 66. The host team victorious over West Germany in the final, 4-2. Of course, this was one of the bigger football matches of the year. Liverpool over Manchester United. and each team owned by Americans. George Gillette Jr.'s Liverpool team defeats the Glazers' Man U, Manchester United team, 2-0. Glazers here at Wembley for this game.
I got motion. Hey, yo.
The games were overlapping for about the first hour and a half of this football game, so unable to be at both places, and Johnson hit one through it. We had a nice visit with the Glazer family yesterday and about what their long-term objectives are and how much they believe in drafting players and building through the draft. And there's Brian Glazer on the left, Joel Glazer on the right. You know, they want to send best wishes to the family back home.
I think it was a really tough decision for them this offseason to decide what you're going to do. Are we going to continue to be a team that goes 8-8, 9-7, or do we just start over, rebuild, and try to get a team that's like the Patriots, that's going to go 12-4, 13-3, and really have a legitimate chance at the Super Bowl?
And that's Williams Cadillac to about the 35. They really do feel like they had to, among other things, and this is something that Raheem Morris talked about too. There's been a lot of winning at Tampa Bay and a lot of hard winning is how he described it. They've never really had a franchise quarterback.
Well, that was the first decision they made. Let's go out and get him. They did in Josh Freeman. And two, you know, I think too, Jim, the biggest thing is they didn't want to keep piecing the team together every year with free agents. You could do that sometimes with veteran free agents, but it wasn't enough, like I said, to get them into that, especially lately, in the position to really win it all.
On third down, Johnson, well, was going to run for it. Now throws. He had an open man. And he was wide of the mark. Fourth down coming up, and well, they're bringing out Dirk Johnson. I thought maybe they'd go for it here at this point. 4th and 6 on the way. Should have hit Bryant this time.
Yeah, he probably needed to lay out and turn his hands the other way, but this is a good spot of the field. Jim, third quarter's over. You're down 3 scores. I would go for it.
Well, they punt it away instead, and Welker has it at the 10. 25-yard field position change on the punt. Got a Patriots shaken up, but we'll remind you that next week, regional action. Some will see Denver against Baltimore. Broncos on a bye this week, so they'll go in there unbeaten against Baltimore. Others will see Miami and the Jets. They had a thriller a couple of Mondays ago. They'll meet again. All starting with the NFL today, next Sunday, noon Eastern time. So Ty Warren of the Patriots was slow to get up and hobbled to the bench.
You know, again, just to go back, it's, I think, a little too conservative for Raheem Morris here. If you're trying to win the game, I know they're trying, but I would have taken that chance. It wasn't bad if you'd have turned over on 4 downs the field position.
That is Kevin Falk for a run up the middle. Close the third quarter. You'd think that goes for 6 yards. Randy Moss was not out there on that snap. He does have the helmet on the sideline. I did see him shaken up after he failed to come up with the catch down the sidelines the last time they had it. It's going to be the end of the third quarter. 28-7. Patriots will return to London after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Who the hottest in the world right now? Just touched down in London town. You'll be my American boy, American boy.
We're back in London for the final quarter. Jim Nantz, Bill Sims. Delighted to have you with us. 28-7 Patriots. Brady with a quick throw. And Welker. Boy, how he navigates his way through heavy traffic.
You know what it is, Jim? It's full speed, but he's under control. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think you got it.
He just eats up ground. Watch this little screen again. The offensive linemen, everybody out. Neal gets a block down the field. Copen, really impressive. And then Wes Welker he's able to go full speed in tight spaces and still protect himself.
He's led the league in yards after the catch the last 2 years, each of the last 2. Moss back out, and he's the target and has it for 7 yards. Randy Moss's numbers today. And with 5 catches for 69 yards.
Tom Brady's numbers, good and solid. Really, they're very good. You know, the 2 interceptions, sometimes I say about that, big deal. You know, it's a game of adversity. You're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you try to make plays, or you want to be great, you're going to have to make some mistakes. If you don't want to turn over, you know, I always say if you don't want to turn over, just kneel on him every play.
Back to Welker. And again, running full speed and chased out of bounds by Rondé Barber.
You know, they got these 3 receivers right here. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. But it puts Wes Welker on Rondé Barber. We talked about it early in the game. Rondé Barber just gave Wes Welker so many complimentary comments yesterday.
Yes, he did. That went for 16. Back to the Buck side of the field, and flags everywhere.
False start, offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's what I was talking about with Welker. Yardage after the catch.
How about that? Well, he does catch a lot of screens. He catches a lot of what I call routes where he gets a chance to go across the field, go outside. They're choice routes. And once he catches them, Tom Brady, the key there is having an accurate quarterback where you can catch it and be running full speed.
Taken this time. Really like a wide receiver screen down to the 41 for 11.
How many screens is that today, Jim? Should have kept count. I'm going to say 6, maybe 7.
Yep, at least. I think you're right.
They do everything. They fake the run, so it makes the defense freeze just for a second. The key, Welker coming outside, getting the block. So many keys to doing it well. So you know during the offseason, they're constantly working on their screens, having offensive linemen, like I said early in the game, that are athletic enough to get outside and keep making blocks.
Second and 4. We give the call to Maroney. Hovan had a hold of him. The former Viking and Boston College star, who had 43 starts, did Hovan in his career at BC.
Outside, defense, number 91, jumping into the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Yeah, they'll give them enough for the first. They had been second and 4.
You know, I'm going to go back, though, Jim, just one last thing about those screens. You know, if I was coaching, which I'm never going to do, of course, but I would copy the screens of the Patriots because it keeps Tom Brady in rhythm and it allows all the receivers to be part of the game.
Quick snap and the give to Maroney. Wrapped up by Jackson. Give him 2.
See, I would never want to be a coach because you'd be up here second guessing everything.
Never.
So,
did you ever seriously think about it?
Oh yes, always. Was going to do it, and then looked into this.
Didn't want to give this up, or just never.
Hey, listen, it's just the truth. Coaching's too hard. You see these guys the way they work. It's a dedication beyond belief in the NFL. It is now at all levels.
Second and 8. Brady rifles it. What a bullet that was to Welker.
Yeah, you think he's figured out that little problem he's had, or he's talked about throwing the football? Couple things. He just steps into it, and here's where you know when you're a good thrower in this league. This is how I judge him. Can you just take the football and drive it? I mean, just rip it throw it as hard as you can. Nice route by Wes Welker, and still control it. And my answer to that is, Jim, there's probably, I know there's less than 10 in the NFL that can do it. Tom Brady's one of them.
Maroney with room, and they got a 1st and goal to go at the 5. They're doing this without Moss on the field. Came back out for 1 snap after being shaken up a bit. Now he's just kneeling on the sideline with his helmet off.
Well, the Patriots got the Bucs defense tired, guessing. And once you start this rhythm of getting 1st downs, just makes it tough for a defense. They're just sitting over there going, what's next?
Ty Warren injured on a special teams play. 1st and goal to go. It's Maroney up the middle. Maroney driving and churning. Do they give it to him? No. Inches shy. Yeah, Ty Warren, it's an ankle, questionable to return. And Moss was also a little limpy, if you will, limping coming off the field.
Yeah, in the first half, I saw him take a hit. I can't remember exactly what play where he got up and had the body language of going like, wow, that might have hurt a little. Dan Connolly, Mark LaVore. LaVore just brought up this week from the PUP, physically unable to perform this. The 2nd and goal. Maroney's in for the touchdown. Running behind Connolly. Well, not to go back to the point, but the Buccaneers played it safe. They punted the football. It didn't matter. The Patriots marched right down the field. Connolly, the lead blocker. Wow, I tell you what, that's twice. He has gone in there and cleaned it up.
Yes, he put a helmet on the guy he had to, right? That's an 89-yard drive. Maroney's in the end zone for the 2nd straight week. And Gostowski true again. 35-7. A little more than 9 minutes to play at Wembley Stadium in London. Lawrence Maroney takes it the final yard. New England with a long drive, 89 yards. He had a 45-yard touchdown run last week. 123 on the ground in the thrashing of Tennessee. And there's some news to report from the Tampa Bay sideline. We're going to see, it appears, Josh Freeman take the field. He's warming up. Gostowski sends a driving deep kick 7 yards into the end zone, and Yamon Figures, the former Baltimore Raven, downs it. Freeman indeed is going to see some action when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by the Volkswagen CC. Visit your local dealer for a test drive today.
Along with some 83,000 at Wembley Stadium in the United Kingdom. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Lance Barrow, our producer, Mike Arnold, our director. 9:25 to go, and Josh Freeman enters the game. And the rookie, the 17th pick in the draft out of Kansas State, hands it to Ward for 4 yards. This was a moment ago during the break. Raheem Morris on the phone, and he says, number 5. Let's get him ready. And here he is. He's been getting some first down reps in practice lately. They run 10 plays. He's been getting it about 4 times. Now seeing game action as he gives it to Ward. That picks up a first.
Well, this is important to get him in here because I think everybody realizes sooner or later, unless Josh Johnson was just spectacular, that they're going to find a way to play Josh Freeman. And whatever snaps he gets will benefit him next week during their bye week in practice. And, you know, if he is going to be the starter, it absolutely will benefit him game week during the week as he practices with the first unit.
Should have said first team reps, not first down reps, but there have been 10 snaps. He's been getting 4 of them, they told us.
Yep.
And again, they have the bye week, and then Green Bay 2 weeks out. This probably signals that the Freeman starting era will be beginning here in 2 weeks' time. As Freeman trying to throw for the first time, and he's decked. He's sacked by Mike Wright, his 4th sack of the season.
Nothing he could do that time except just go down and protect yourself. I think it's Myron Pryor, 91 it is. What a good job by him. He beats Jeff Fain, the center. That's a tough job for the center. Quarterback's dead behind you, and you got to block somebody one-on-one where they can go through you to either side. So good job by Pryor.
He's the first Kansas State quarterback, Freeman is, to ever be drafted in the first round. Second and 17. His first NFL throw is a completion to Brian Clark. Freeman's a big kid. He's 6'6". This one goes for 12 yards.
6'6", throws the football down the field with no effort. That's what you like, and that's what they like with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I watched him warm up, and he threw the ball tremendously during warm-ups.
Freeman facing a 3rd and 5. And again, heavy pressure, just throws it away. Gary Guyton was in on him quickly. Big update on that Minnesota Steeler game. James, what is it?
Hey, Jim, the defense of Pittsburgh wants to be big in knocking the Vikings from the ranks of the unbeaten. Take a look at Brett Kiesel knocking the ball loose from Brett Favre. Picking it up is Lamar Woodley. Couple guys get a hand on him. Shannon says at least pinch him when he goes by. He takes it 77 yards to pay dirt. They stretch their lead by 10, 20-10 late in the 4th. Jim and Phil.
You don't want nothing right now.
Well, about 6 minutes to go. Vikings were going in to take the lead for the Woodley return. Johnson with a returnable punt. It's Welker getting the corner and raced out at the 37. We have 6.5 remaining in this one. Ball belongs again to New England, up 28. And the Patriots change quarterbacks. Brian Hoyer seeing action for the 2nd straight week, the rookie from Michigan State. Scored a touchdown last week from a yard out. Took him down the field on his first series as a pro and finished it off with a touchdown. Brady's numbers now, he's finished 23 of 32, 308 with the 3 touchdowns and the 2 picks that came in the 2nd quarter. With this New England team hitting quite a stride here. It's 94-7, taking the last 2 weeks combined.
Well, the NFL it's interesting, Jim. The season is so long, and we judge it so harshly, I think, early. And it's as I always say, it's like 4 or 5 seasons in one. And it's where you end up. So you got to keep trying to improve. Patriots are doing that.
And that's the law firm for about a yard. Green Ellis. Moss congratulating his quarterback on another victory. They don't care about the stats, but for Brady it was his 26th career 300-yard game in the regular season. It ties the New England franchise record with Drew Bledsoe. Hoyer gives it up to Green Ellis. They have a flag. Then he would have had the first. It's interesting. You look at the winless teams around the league, Tampa Bay being one of them, along with St. Louis, which is getting blown out today, and Tennessee, which is on a bye. Been a lot of talk here lately about how the bad teams, they've fallen to levels that seem a little bit deeper than you've seen in years past. The disparity this year seems greater than ever.
Illegal shift, offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Jim, I think you said it right. They're the 3 winless teams you talked about. Tennessee, Tampa Bay at the bottom, St. Louis at the top. But, you know, a lot of reasons. 3 teams this year, right before the season, Tampa Bay being one of them, fires their offensive coordinator. That's just unheard of in the NFL. Almost impossible to overcome.
Brian Hoyer facing 3rd and 10. Rondé Barber was blitzing. Hoyer ducks underneath. Gets away from the sack. Picks up the first. Hoyer slides to the 44. We've got another update coming your way. Back to Studio 43 in New York.
Hey, Jim and Phil, look how quickly Minnesota answers right back to that score by Pittsburgh. Rookie Percy Harvin on the kickoff. Dan says he's known not for his speed, his speed. Look at him, 88 yards. His 2nd kickoff return for a score this season. Deficit now cut to 3, 2017 Pittsburgh. Back to Jim Nantz. Phil Simms.
Looked like a clip on that one official to me. They could have called it back, huh? One official knocked down, but what a return by Harvin to bring that back to a 3-point game. First down, Patriots, and a quick hit on Green Ellis by Roy Miller.
Good football teams have a lot of ways to win, and the Patriots have shown that today. Defense getting points, not only getting a turnover, but getting points. Screen plays to the outside. Wes Welker, we've seen a lot of that today. And then when they need to, they can show the power. Lawrence Maroney getting it done on the run. But always, teams that win a lot in the NFL, you can't say, oh, we're going to win it with our passing game. You're going to do it a lot of different ways, and the Patriots over the years have shown that.
Maroney flies for a couple of yards after the hit. Third down and long coming up. And also on the way, the Subway postgame show with JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights. A lot of blowouts today. And coming up, the Subway postgame show with the highlights and the full report. That Minnesota-Pittsburgh game's a tight one. So is San Francisco and Houston tightening up as the 49ers brought out Alex Smith for the 2nd half, and they were down 21-0 at one time. They made it competitive. Third and 9.
You know, Jim, just going back, what you said about the top and the bottom of the NFL, a lot of it just comes down to decision making, signing the right free agents, making those draft picks. It's in football, it's the owner, general manager, coach, that line of succession, continuity. That's what it's really all about.
2-minute warning. Get another look at Josh Freeman when we come back after the punt. Two minutes to go. New England about to send the football off the foot of Chris Hansen. Back to Tampa Bay. Now that line, it is such a unified group. The likes of Vollmer, Light, who's injured, Connolly, Mankins, Copen, Neal, Kazir, LaVore active today, Hornberger, Simmons. We got a flag.
False start, offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Carl Bauman, the producer from Sky Sports, we really want to thank. They've been our partners here all week. They've made us feel at home and helped us in large ways put this broadcast together, interfacing with our CBS family. And we thank our friends at Sky. This game has been broadcast not only live to most of the United States, but all through Europe on Sky, taking this very feed. Now Hansen, he's had pressure on him today. And again, got near him. No flag. Ball bounds into the end zone. Freeman will have it at the 20. There's going to be another glimpse of Josh Freeman when we return to Wembley. This is the first time in the 3 years the game's been staged here. It has not come down to the late stages. The Giants struggled in what ended up being their Super Bowl winning year to defeat a winless Miami team. And last year was a shootout with New Orleans outscoring San Diego. Here's Freeman going underneath to Winslow, who's been real quiet today. By the way, this was the highest attendance of the three. They announce it now at 84,254. Just the second reception for Winslow. Freeman on the run. He's going to step out of bounds. Now, this was really a game that's been heavily embraced. The United States Ambassador Sussman had the NFL dignitaries and the ownership of the teams last night to the U.S. residents Ambassador's house. Ambassador Sussman, big fan of all of this, and he's proud of the fact that back home his little granddaughter Carolyn will be watching. She's quite the athlete and quite the fan. There's Josh Johnson replaced here. 9 of 26, 156 yards, threw the touchdown to Bryant, but threw 3 picks in the first half. 3rd and 2 for Freeman. Ball up in the air and close to being another pick. Coming up, Subway postgame show. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Latest scores and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Go back to Josh Johnson, Jim. 4 starts for him. Of course, they didn't win any of them, but I think what he did in those 4 starts, he realizes he can play in the NFL, and I think he's earned that spot. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going, okay, they're going to feel good about him too, being part of their football team.
4th and 2 with 1 minute and 12.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard
that's
penalty.
good. Whatever mistakes you make in this game, if you do get the start in a couple weeks, you won't repeat them. So there's a lot to learn. Defenses that move around, and he saw it at Kansas State too. Watching the play clock.
Hey, Phil, the executive producer of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus, vice president of production of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant, coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, and today's game producer, Lance Barrow. Today's game directed by Michael Arnold. 4th and 7 coming up. Burgess after Freeman, falls out. And New England will take over there at the 13-yard line. Senior producer of CBS Sports in the NFL today is Eric Mann. The director of the studio is Bob Mattina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Steve Karasik. Associate directors of today's game, Corey Fishman and Andy Friedman. Broadcast associates, Todd Carrick and Adae Ellis. Technical manager is Pete Callander. Our thanks to our technical director, Jonas Einstein. Audio supervisor, Ed Soltis. Our director of operations, Ken Agard, over here. Our stats provided by Ethan Cooperson and Tom Borstein. Our spotter, Tommy Spencer, and the editorial consultant as well. Field stage manager is Jimmy Hatter. And our thanks to, up here in the booth, Kevin McHale with his running of the booth operation. The last 2 weeks, 94 points put up by the Patriots in over 1,000 yards.
Thought he was a defensive-minded coach. Over the last few years, he's changed some of those thoughts. Patriots, very diverse on the offensive side, explosive, and those numbers just kind of bear it out.
Both teams flying home tomorrow. Tampa Bay going home at 0-7, while the Patriots rise to 5-2. Partner, I've enjoyed it, sharing the experience over here in London with you again.
A lot of fun, Jim.
Final score, New England 35 and Tampa Bay 7. Coming up next is the Subway postgame show. Tom Brady with 3 touchdowns leading the Patriots to victory. For Phil Simms and all the crew, Jim Nantz saying so long from London. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll join James Brown in New York after this.